In a quiet village surrounded by green fields and dusty roads, lived a girl named Emma. Emma was 12 years old, small in height but big in dreams. Every morning, before the sun even touched the rooftops, she woke up. Not to scroll a phone, not to watch cartoons, but to help her mother, because her family was poor. Her father was a farmer. Some months they had enough food, and some months they barely had anything. Emma knew this. She never complained. She quietly tied her hair, washed her face, and walked outside to the hand pump. Squeak, squeak, gush, gush. She filled 2 metal buckets with water, each heavier than her whole body, and carried them back home. But today was different. Today she was late. The school bell would ring in 25 minutes. She placed the water buckets down, rushed inside, and grabbed her small school bag. The bag was torn on one side, so she tied it with a shoelace. She wore faded sandals, picked up her single notebook, and ran. She ran past farms, past buffalo sheds, past small houses with smoke coming out from kitchen fires. The muddy road splashed on her uniform. Out of breath, she reached school just before the bell. But the classmates laughed. "Emma, did you fall in the mud? Your shoes look like they were chewed by a goat." Emma didn't reply. She smiled gently. She looked at the board with honesty in her eyes, because Emma wasn't there to show off her uniform. She was there to learn. Every evening, her mother sat on the floor turning vegetables into dinner. Her father came home tired, hands rough and cracked from working in the fields. "Emma, leave your books, go to sleep," her mother often said. But Emma shook her head. "I'll just read for 5 more minutes." That 5 minutes always became 1 hour. One day, the school announced a competition. Not an ordinary competition. The winner would get a scholarship to study in the best city school. Everyone in Emma's class became excited. Everyone except Emma. She looked at her broken pencil box and thought, "How will I even make a model? We don't even have electricity at home." Her teacher, Mrs. Olivia, noticed her silence. "Emma, don't you want to participate?" Emma hesitated. "Ma'am, I don't have materials." Mrs. Olivia smiled and placed her hand on Emma's head. "You don't need money to win. You need ideas." Emma went home that evening with a new spark in her eyes. But when she reached home, she saw something that shattered her. Her parents were whispering. Her father said, "We have to stop Emma's school next year. We can't afford fees." Emma stood frozen behind the wall. The world went silent. The sounds of crickets in the night stopped. The wind stopped. Her dream was slipping away. She walked slowly to her little bed, but she didn't sleep. She stared at the stars. "I will win this competition," she whispered. "I will save my school." That night, a girl who had nothing decided to fight for everything. Emma started collecting waste: plastic bottles, cardboard, broken wires, from garbage dumps and village scrap shops. Villagers stared. "Look, the farmer's daughter has become a rag picker." Some laughed, some whispered, some insulted. Emma ignored them. Every night, she worked on her model, a low-cost water purifier using river sand, small stones, and charcoal. Her idea was simple. If clean water could reach villages cheaply, nobody would have to walk miles like her to fetch water. Her model was functional but imperfect. One evening, disaster struck. A loud lightning cracked above the sky. Rain poured like buckets falling from the clouds. Emma was studying under the public streetlight because there was a power cut at home. Suddenly, thunder. The light went off. Darkness swallowed everything. Emma walked home under heavy rain. When she pushed open the door of her house, she froze. Her model was destroyed, completely soaked, ruined. She stared at the scattered cardboard pieces. Her throat tightened. She wanted to scream. She wanted to cry. But instead, she closed her eyes. Her voice was calm. "Start again." She rebuilt it through the night, her fingers trembling in the cold. At dawn, she placed her model on a small board and carried it all the way to school. The school bus took the students to the city auditorium. Huge banners, Bright lights, tall buildings. Emma had never seen anything like that. Other students had high-tech models. Robots, solar drones, AI systems. Emma carried a water purifier made from trash. Some students whispered, "What is this? Garbage." Emma stood silently. When her name was called, she walked to the stage. She looked at the judges and audience. Her voice did not shake. This model is not made from expensive materials. It is made from problems and solutions. She demonstrated how dirty water passed through layers of sand, stones, and charcoal, and came out clearer and drinkable. The hall became silent. The judges leaned forward. One of them asked, "Why did you choose this idea?" Emma replied, "In my village, children walk miles every morning to bring clean water. They arrive late at school and slowly give up studies. If water comes to them, education will stay with them." The audience applauded. But the results were still unknown. Time felt like forever. Finally, the host announced, "Winner of the National Science Model Competition is..." There was a pause. A long pause. Emma James, the Water Purifier Project. The hall exploded with claps. Emma froze. She won. She really won. Her teacher hugged her. Tears rolled down Emma's cheeks. In her trembling hands, she held the scholarship letter. For the first time, the little girl from the village felt seen. That night, the judges asked her to speak on stage again. She walked up confidently. "Everyone sees success," she began. "But no one sees this." She held up her broken sandals. "Every day, I walked 4 kilometers to school." She opened her notebook with taped pages. "I used only one notebook for all subjects." She showed her hands, rough and scratched. "I fetched water every morning and did household work before school." She pointed at her model. "This is made from garbage, but so was the life everyone expected me to live." The hall became silent. Even the judges had tears. Then she said the line that changed lives. "I was not born lucky, but I was born unwilling to give up." Emma completed her higher studies with a scholarship. Years later, a large building stood in her village. A water purification and science research center. Emma James. Children in uniforms ran around, laughing. Emma stood there watching them. Sunlight touched her face. She wasn't that little girl anymore. She was a woman of purpose. A man from the crowd asked, "How did you reach here? What was the secret of your success?" Emma smiled. "Hard work isn't the secret. Finishing what you start, that is the real secret."